What's up everyone? Welcome back to another lesson, and in this video we're going to talk about the term impressions and why they matter. So by now I'd hope that you understand me when I talk about the physical world versus the digital world, and I hope that you do understand this by now because it can help make a lot of things make sense as I continue to refer as real life as the physical world and social media as the digital world. And when we talk about the word impressions in the physical world, what does that mean? In other words, what does it mean to leave an impression on someone new that we meet? Well, let's start by defining what that means. An impression is the overall impact that a person makes on another person or a group of people. And since our focus is around building relationships, an impression is the first impression that a person makes on another person, and that includes any subsequent impressions that are made over the course of the relationship. In the physical world, this impression can be influenced by various factors such as their appearance, their behavior, their communication style, and overall demeanor. Knowing this, as entrepreneurs, relationships is everything, so it is important that we make a positive impression on others, right? Making a positive impression can build trust and credibility, attract and retain customers, networking and collaboration opportunities, and ultimately what we're all doing here is building our personal brand, our reputation. And the last thing that I'll mention about impressions in the physical world is that first impressions are not always accurate. It is possible for someone to have had an off day or just have not been in the greatest state of their life. Know that it is possible for people to change and grow over time, and it is important to give others the opportunity to do so. All right, so now the digital world. What are impressions in the digital world and why do they matter? Well, essentially it's the same thing, slightly with a bit of a mindset shift. And I'll break it down in this context because you'll learn that these concepts that we talk about in the physical world correlate and are very similar to everything that we do in the digital world. In the digital world, they mean slightly different in the sense that our impressions are based off of the content that we create. To define an impression in the digital world, an impression is a measurement of how many times a piece of content, such as an ad or a social media post, has been displayed to users. And in digital marketing, impressions are used to gauge the visibility of your content, whether that be organic or paid. Now to take it a bit deeper, just like everything that we mentioned earlier about first impressions and how the impression we leave on someone is super important, well, the same thing applies here. It's more than just how many times we show up on someone's feed. It's making sure that our entire digital presence leaves a strong and positive impression on those who consume our content. And this is why it is important that we always create quality, intentional, and meaningful content, because we never know who is going to consume our content next and who is loyal and consumes our content regularly. We want all of our social media feeds to be consistent and constantly displaying and showcasing the nature of our work and of who we are. Right? We talked about growing and changing over time, and as we change and develop over time, we still want to make sure that we're casting off a positive impression, because that is how we continue to build our personal brand. What is your intention with your content? What do you want to be known for? What kind of content should you be creating in order to build trust, build credibility, attract and retain more customers? Impressions basically is the foundational measurement of our personal brand. How many times are you showing up? Meaning, how much content are you creating? Are you staying top of mind? That's the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen, staying top of mind. And also, how are you showing up? Meaning, what does your content look like? What is your message? Are you showing up on video? Is it relevant and relatable? what is your appearance and demeanor when you show up on social media? And most importantly, how are you showing up authentically and intentionally? Ultimately, like we've talked about in other videos, what type of people are you calling in and also repelling away with your content? We can really do that. We can really accomplish that right there of attracting the right people and repelling the wrong people if we truly step into our power and into who we are. If we're not afraid to be our true authentic selves, we can literally call in the right people that we wish to do business with. And it's not only your content, it's your entire social brand. What does your feed look like? What other channels are you established on? What is your messaging, and is it consistent across all those channels? And also, like we've talked about in another video, your impressions and all of these things that I've mentioned make up your digital resume. We've talked about your digital resume before. So understand that every impression you make in the digital world, AKA every piece of content that you create, matters. As entrepreneurs that are building a personal brand, it is important that you understand this concept and create content knowing this, so that you can become more intentional with how you show up. As we create content, we want to build trust and credibility, and we want to attract and retain customers. We want to invite new opportunities for networking and collaboration and strategic partnerships, all with the content that we create, all of which is possible the more that we make our impressions matter. So my friends, what impression will you make in the digital world?